Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mohammad Obaid and this is another video of Basics of Structural Analysis series, and today we are going to start a very new and interesting topic, which is double integration method for finding slope and deflection. Okay, this method is very important and it is a very common method which is taught in many undergraduate courses. Okay, so first of all we will discuss what is this method and what is the methodology for solving the problem, and then we will come to the equations involved in this problem solving method, and we will also discuss the sign convention, and finally we will discuss what are boundary conditions. Okay, and how do we find these boundary condition and what is the use of these conditions. Okay, so let's get started with the video without any further delay. So to understand this method from the basics, let us take an example of a simple supported beam. Okay, so we are now drawing a beam. So this is our simple support beam, and here we have a pin support, and this is our support A, and at the end we have a roller support, and this is our end B. Now we will take a very small segment of this beam. Let us call this segment as C, D and E, F. Okay, and this segment has a length, very small length, dx, and this segment is at a distance x from A. Okay, so when there is no loading on this beam, this segment CD will look like CDEF will look like this. So what is this? This is our EF and this is CD. Now when we apply an arbitrary loading, okay, we don't know what type of loading is this, but it is a general type of load. Okay, general type of loading. So this is acting downward. Now when this load will act on the beam, this beam will deflect. Okay, this beam will deflect. Let me draw the deflected shape here. So let us assume that this is our undeflected position, and after deflection this beam goes like something this. Sorry, has become something larger. Sorry. Now this is our deflect shape of the beam like this. Okay, and here we have our roller support, and here we have our pin support. Okay, so this is our deflected shape. Now this is our segment E, F and CD. Now you can see that after deflection this segment has a different shape. Okay, let me draw the shape here. So this segment has become like something like this. Okay, sorry, this will also be a straight line. So this has become like this. One important assumption which we use in strength of material is that the section before bending remains plane after bending. What does it mean? It means that this section, or you can say this line CE, okay, this line CE, and this is our line after deflection C. This line CE and this line CE will remain straight. Okay, will remain straight, which means these lines will remain perpendicular to the neutral axis. So what is this line? Actually this line is nothing. This line, let me draw this line here. So this is our neutral axis. Okay, and this is also our neutral axis. Okay, so this is D and F. Now if we name this segment as don't name, if we take the length of the segment as dx, and we are also take a segment at a distance, let us say y, from this neutral axis, and the length of the segment is let us say ds dash. Okay, and we also take this length of the segment, this segment from at a distance y. Let me erase this A, at a distance y in the undeflected shape. Okay, and undeflected segment. So here we are assuming that this length is ds. Okay, so in the undeflected shape this length is ds, and in the deflected shape is this length is ds dash. Why? Because at neutral axis there will be no change. Okay, and if at neutral axis this length is dx, so in the deflected shape this length will also remain dx. Okay, because at neutral axis we don't have any extension, neither we don't have any extension nor reduction. Okay, so the length will remain dx, but on the upper side there will be a reduction, and in the lower side there will be a increase. Okay, increase in the length. Why? Because the lower side will remain in tension and the upper edge, or you can say upper fiber of the beam will remain in compression, because the loading is acting downward. Okay, so this, all these things we know from the strength of material. So this is ds and this is ds. Okay, now if I want to find out the strain in the upper, strain in this fiber, okay, strain at a distance y. So the strain, let me write here, the strain epsilon will be equal to ds dash minus ds divided by ds. What is ds dash? Ds dash is the length after deflection. Okay, as you can see here in this segment, and ds is the initial length. Now when this beam deflects, so this beam takes the shape of a curve. Okay, and we call this shape as a elastic curve. Okay, we call this shape as a elastic curve, and this elastic curve is a part of a, you can say, is a part of a circle. Okay, having a radius r. So this is our r, and let us name this point as O. So this is our r, and let us match these 2 points from our segment. So this is our segment. Now this r is called, let me write it here. So r is called as the radius of curvature. Okay, so r is called as radius of, r is called as radius of curvature. Okay, so let me draw this segment, the segment after deflection CDEF here again for better understanding. So this is our O, and this is our radius of curvature, like this. Okay, it is coming all over here, so like this. Okay, and this is our segment. So this is C, E, D and F. Okay, and this is our neutral axis having length dx, and this is our segment which we are studying right now, and the length of this segment is ds dash. Okay, and this distance is y. Now we are studying this segment. Okay, for this segment the strain is epsilon equal to ds dash minus ds divided by ds. Now this angle is d theta. Okay, and up to the neutral axis, this radius is r. Okay, now in this figure, if we recall from the simple geometry, so one thing which has remained, this is the moment. So this is the moment which is acting on the element. Okay, now what we have, so if we see that ds, okay, in this undeflected shape, in the undeflected segment, so in the undeflected segment, this segment CDEF, ds is equal to dx. Okay, and after deflection this ds has decreased. Okay, decreased to ds dash. Okay, because on the upper fiber there will be tension. Now from this figure what we can write is we can write very easily that from the formula which is angle is equal to arc divided by radius. Okay, so from here we can write that d theta will be equal to dx upon r. Okay, and as I have written here that this dx is equal to ds from here, so we can also write that r d theta will be equal to ds. Okay, one thing which we have got here. Now the other thing is that in this figure if we again write d theta is equal to ds dash for this segment, ds dash, if we write for this segment, so d theta is equal to arc divided by radius. What will be the radius for this segment having length ds dash? So the radius will be r minus y. Okay, so from here we will get ds dash r minus y into d theta. Now we have got the value of ds dash and ds, so we can put all these two values in this formula. Okay, in the formula of the strain. Now if I put these two values in this formula, what we will get, let us see. So epsilon is equal to ds dash minus ds divided by ds. Okay, and it is equal to, from this equation, the value of ds r minus y d theta minus the value of ds from this equation, so this will be r d theta, sorry, this will be r d theta, and value of ds, this is r d theta. So d theta will be cancelled out from denominator and numerator, and the one thing which will be remained is r minus y minus r divided by r, and these two r will also be cancelled out, so it will, we will get only minus y by r. So this is what we have got. Now after further simplification, we can write as 1 by r will be equal to minus 1 by r is equal to, sorry, 1 by r will be equal to minus epsilon by y. Okay, now if we recall the bending equation from elementary strength of material, so bending equation will be equal to m by I is equal to stress upon distance from neutral axis, and another formula which is our Hooke's law. Okay, Hooke's law says that Young modulus of elasticity is equal to ultimately, okay, so Young modulus of elasticity is equal to stress upon strain. Okay, so from this Hooke's law and from the bending equation, now we will proceed for our further solution. So from this equation in which we have got 1 by r is equal to minus epsilon by y, if we put the value of epsilon from this equation, so what will be the value of epsilon? So epsilon will be equal to stress upon Young modulus of elasticity. So if we put this value of epsilon in this equation, what will we get? So we will get 1 by r is equal to minus sigma upon ey. Okay, so this is what we have got. Now we will use our bending equation. So from bending equation, the fiber which we are studying here, okay, we are studying this element, this fibers ds dash, okay, this ds dash, the fiber is upward the neutral axis. Okay, this fiber is over the neutral axis, which means that if the loading is acting downward, in our case the loading is acting downward, so this fiber, the fiber which is upper of the neutral axis will be in tension, and the fiber downward the neutral axis will be in compression. So right now we are studying the fiber which is upper to the neutral axis, so this fiber ds dash in tension. Okay, so the stresses in this fiber will also be tensile. Okay, so from this bending equation, if I write the sorry, let me write it downward here. So from this equation, if we put the negative sign before stress, so what will we get? So we will get the value of stress as minus my by I. Okay, now if we put the value of this stress in this equation, so what we will get? We will get minus my by ei into y. So y will cancel out, so we will ultimately get, sorry, this will be positive because there we have also a negative sign. Okay, so this will become positive, and ultimately we will get 1 by r is equal to m by ei. Okay, now we have got a very important equation. Okay, so this, the value of this r, okay, r is the radius of curvature as I have written earlier, and the value of 1 by r is called as curvature. This 1 by r is called as curvature, and from theory we can write that the equation for 1 by r is d2y over dx square divided by 1 plus dy by dx whole square and bracket and whole 3 by 2. Okay, so what is dy and what is dx? Dx, we know that dx is the length of the element at a distance x, and y is the distance in the upward direction. So this is a y. Okay, so this is the distance y, upward direction, in the upward direction from the axis of the beam. Okay, from the neutral axis of the beam. So this is our y. Now we have these two equations, first this and the other one this equation. Now we are going to put the value of 1 by r from this equation to m by ei equation. So m by ei will ultimately become d2y over dx square plus dy by dx whole square and bracket whole power 3 by 2. So from here one important term which is this dy by dx. So this dy by dx is nothing, this dy by dx is the slope of elastic curve. Now in general the deflection, or you can say that this is the undeflected shape, and this is, let us draw it again. So this is the undeflected shape and this is the deflected shape of the beam. So this is the slope, okay, this is the slope, dy by dx is equal to theta. So this is the slope. So in general the slope at any point on the beam is very small, okay, there is the deflection is not so large, so we can assume that this slope is very small, the slope is very small. And if we do the square of the slope, if we do the square of this value, so it will ultimately become approximately 0, or you can say very small, very small as compared to 1, okay, which is here as compared to 1. So we can further simplify this whole equation to m by ei. M by ei will be equal to d2y over dx square upon 1, okay, and this will be equal to d2y over dx square. Now we have gotten very interesting and very important relationship, which is the basics, or you can say basic equation for our method, okay, m by ei, or you can further write it as ei d2y over dx square is equal to m. So this is one of the main equation which we are going to use in this method of double integration, okay. So this is the basic equation. This equation tells that ei into d2y over dx is equal to m. M is the bending moment acting at the section which we are considering for finding out for writing the equation, okay. So this is the basic equation. Let us name this equation as 1. So this equation which we have got here is a very important equation, and this equation is also known as differential equation for the flexure of beam, okay. And in this equation we have two terms, which is first term is ei and the other term is d2y over dx square, and this term we know this is bending moment at that section. So what is this d2y over dx square? Okay, this term is nothing, this term is the curvature of beam, okay, for small slope, okay. This is very important because this equation is valid only for small slopes, okay. And this term ei, we also know this term from standard material, this term is nothing, this is flexural rigidity, okay. Now we have got this equation number 1, okay. So how do we find out the slope and deflection from this equation? Okay, so let us see. We will take a very simple example of a simple supported beam. So let us take a very simple beam. So this is pin support, and at here we have a roller support. There will be reaction. Let us name this reaction as RA, okay, and let us name this reaction as RB, okay, and let us name this support A and B. So we are considering that this beam is loaded with a UDL of W kilonewton per meter, okay. Now if I take a section at a distance x from A, so what will be the bending moment at this section xx, okay. So at x the bending moment will be equal to mxx will be equal to rax minus w into x by 2, okay. So after solving, what I will get rax minus wx square by 2. So this is the bending moment at this section. Now from the first equation, okay, from this first equation, if I write, I will write ei d2y over dx square is equal to rax minus wx square, because this equation was equal to m, okay. So m is rax minus ws square. So if I integrate this equation with respect to x, okay, so what will be the integration of dy over dx square? So the integration will be dy by dx, okay, and ra it will become x square by 2, and here x square become x cube and divided by 2 into 3, okay, plus constant of integration, okay, because this is an indefinite integral, so we have to put a constant every time we integrate the equation, okay. Now we will integrate this equation, let us name this equation as 2. We will integrate this equation number 2 with respect to x, okay. So after integrating dy by dx, which is this dy by dx become y, and it will become ra x cube by 6, and here we will get ra x to the power 4 by 2 into 3 into 4, okay. So it will become 24 c1x plus c2. So let us name this equation as third, okay. So this is our third equation. Now what is this term dy by dx? So dy by dx is nothing, dy by dx is the slope at x, okay. X is the distance from point A, or you can say support A, and what is y? Y is the deflection at a distance x, or you can say at x, okay. Now if I want to find out the deflection at any point x and slope at any distance x from A, I will just put the value of x or in this equation number 2 and 3, and I will get the slope and deflection. But first of all, I have to find out these two constants, which is c1 and c2. c1 and c2. Now how will I find these constants, okay. So for this task we will use boundary conditions, okay. So what are boundary conditions? Boundary conditions, okay. Boundary conditions are very important for solving these types of problem, and boundary condition means we know such points where we know the deflection and slope of those points, okay. So if I see this simple supported beam, so at A and at B we have, at A we have plinth support and at B we have roller support. So at support we don't have any deflection, okay. So the deflection is 0, so YB, let me write it as YB is 0, and YA, deflection at support A, is also 0, okay. So these two conditions we know that at A deflection is 0 and at B deflection is also 0. So we can use these two conditions for finding out the constant c1 and c2, because there are two constants and there are two conditions. So what is the distance of x? X for A, so x is 0 at A and YA is 0, and YB is 0, and what is the distance of B? So distance of B is L, okay. Let us take the length of the beam as L, okay. So at x is equal to 0, YA is 0, and at x is equal to L, which is B, deflection is also 0. So we can use these two conditions to find out, this is a comma, okay, to find out the C1 and C2, and then we can use these two equations, equation number 2 and equation number 3, to find out the slope and deflection at any point in the beam. Now what will be the sign convention for slope and deflection, okay. So let us assume that this is a deflected shape, and after deflection the beam deflects like this. So if this is A and this is B, so to find out the slope at any point we have to draw a tangent. So let us draw a tangent at A. Now this is the angle theta A, okay. So right now this angle is clockwise, okay. So in this method, if I get a negative value for this dy by dx from this equation number 2, okay, if I get a negative value, so negative value means that the slope is clockwise, and positive value means slope is anti-clockwise, okay. This is a sign convention for slope, okay. And for deflection, here for deflection from equation number 3, so as initially we have said that we are assuming that the y direction is positive in the upward direction, okay, y is positive in the upward direction. So we will use this for establishing the sign convention. So here this is our y direction positive and here the y is negative. Okay, so if we get a value of y as a positive, which means that the deflection is upward, and if we get a value of y as negative, which means the deflection is downward. Okay, so this is the criteria for deflection. Okay, you can also visualize these sign convention from equation number 2 and equation number 3. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you like this video, please share this video and subscribe to my channel. If you have any confusion regarding any point, please comment down in the comment box and I will try to answer all your comment as soon as possible. Thanks for watching and we will meet in our next video with some other problems.